think it was possible to grow plants. They can dangle from wherever you want them to, as long as they have light and good air circulation. Learn more about the wonder of air plants at livingthecountrylife.com. I'll see you in the country.
Living the Country Life. Ideas and inspiration for your place in the country. You can find more information on today's topic, share your tips, and post photos by visiting us online at livingthecountrylife.com.
Today's Daily Encouragement by William the Encourager, sponsored by Ted Russell Nissan, home of the lifetime warranty on Kingston Pike.
Thank you, Jesus. It's Thursday. Father, we thank you. Lord God, we thank you for this day. We thank you for the obstacles that you've moved out of our way. We thank you, Lord God, that you are the way, the truth, and the life. Thank you, oh Jesus, for your love, mercy, and grace. Thank you, Father, for bringing us through the difficulties of this life's journey. Thank you, Lord God, for providing a way. Lord, we thank you so much. Now bless my brothers and sisters. In Jesus' name we pray. Do you know that there is truly a way out of your mess? There truly is. And I know I say there's a way out of your mess, and it's Jesus, but you got to remember that it's so true, because Satan cannot deny, but that great wonder has been wrought by prayer. As the spirit of prayer goes up, so his kingdom goes down. When we begin to push those prayers up, Satan's kingdom comes down. So let's push it up. Let's lift Jesus higher. There's a song that says, lift Jesus higher. Lift him up for the world to see. He said, if I be lifted up, I would draw all men unto me. So all praise God, my brothers and sisters. Keep lifting him up, because Jesus can remove the obstacles, because the enemy is trying to throw stumbling blocks in your way because he don't want you to see the power of God at work. But remember, Satan cannot deny, but that great wonder has been wrought by prayer. As the spirit of prayer goes up, so Satan's kingdom goes down. And God can remove those obstacles out of your way. Remember, Isaiah 40:4 says, every valley shall be exalted, and every mountain and hill shall be made low, and the crooked path be made straight, and the rough places plain. Oh my God. And in Isaiah 45:2, it says, I will go before thee and make the crooked places straight. I will break in pieces the gates of brass and cut in sunder the bars of iron. My brothers and sisters, what a mighty God we serve. And on this day, I pray that we lift him higher. Lift him higher than your fears. Lift him higher than your troubles. Lift him higher than your ills. Lift him higher than your stress. Lift him higher than your job. Lift him higher than mother and father. Lift him higher than son and daughter. Lift Jesus higher because he is worthy. He paid the price. He paid a price that he did not owe. And we owe a price that we cannot pay. Oh my God. Brothers and sisters, let Jesus tear down those obstacles. Isaiah said in the book of Isaiah 49:11, and I will make all my mountains a way, and my highways shall be exalted. Thank you, Lord God. Thank you. Matthew 21:21 says, Jesus answered and said unto them, verily I say unto you, if ye have faith and doubt not, ye shall not only do this which is done to the fig tree, but also if ye shall say unto the mountain, be ye removed and be cast into the sea, it shall be done. Brothers and sisters, without faith, it's impossible to please him. He has shown us so much. He has done so much. When will you believe? When will you believe? Look back and see where God has brought you from. Count your many blessings and name them one by one. Look back and see what God has done. And remember, there's a way out of your mess, and it's JESUS.
Where can you buy a brand new Nissan with a lifetime warranty? Kingston Pike. Hey, folks, Gerald Anderson with Ted Russell Nissan. You heard it right. Every new Ted Russell Nissan comes with a lifetime warranty, and that's a long, long time. Ted Russell Nissan on Kingston Pike.
Good morning and welcome to AM 1380 WYSH and Ask Your Neighbor. Ask Your Neighbor can also be heard and seen on our website, WYSHradio.com. And if you are in Anderson, Rome, or Morgan County and have Comcast cable, you can watch Ask Your Neighbor on BBB TV Channel 12. Ask Your Neighbor is the program where you call in and do just that. Ask Your Neighbor. Do you have a comment? Do you have a problem? Or do you have a question? Then call in and ask your neighbor. 865-457-1380 or toll free at 877-711-4005. And for those of you that might be listening or watching on the internet, you can email from our website, WYSHradio.com. Just click on the Contact Us button and email your questions. Now sit back and listen as listeners throughout East Tennessee and the entire world answer your questions on Ask Your Neighbor on BBB TV 12 and AM 1380 WYSH.
We're getting another day started here. Ask Your Neighbor. David West, stars and stories of the Cass Walker Show. We're sitting here talking about getting high. Well, right. Putting in an elevator. That's anyway.
Right. You can't hide money.
Yeah, when you get rid of the elevator and stuff, you don't have that.
That's right. Yeah. I ask him all the time, I say, how's your business? He says, it's up and down.
There you go.
Chris Smith said, I went up there at that Sun Spear or somewhere up there. What was that big thing up in Gatlinburg they had?
That was a Space Needle.
Space Needle. Yeah, Space Needle. We went up there and played up there for them.
What?
And Fred said, let's go up it, and he said, I just don't like heights like this. And you can get up there, Barney, I guess y'all saw it. You could look at a car down there at the front bumper and just stand still and it moves to the back bumper. It moves all the time, so many feet.
It's turning, yeah.
And Fred said, now, I don't look at nothing like that. That's bothered me a little bit. And he said, made a story out of it. You know, me and David went up, I got on that Space Needle, said, oh, Lord, so that woman went up so fast. Said, oh, my britches was right up around my head. He said, she come down just as fast. Said, she come down, wham, stopped. And did I stop too quick for you? He said, no, I always wear my pants around my ankles.
Like praying.
She had no way, did you?
Oh, yeah.
I go one time, I can't remember, that Empire State Building in New York. How many feet?
It sways.
It sways.
Yeah, I couldn't. I wouldn't want to be up there when it's doing. They have to do that.
Oh, yeah, if they break down and fall to the ground.
Yeah, I don't.
I've been on top of it.
And could you feel it?
No.
Yeah.
I was out on the observation deck up on the top. I didn't feel it.
Yeah.
Can you feel it, or you can't feel it? You couldn't Space Needle either. And it moved every time.
It might, if you got up on them antenna up on top, you might be able to feel it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But that Space Needle, you get on top of it and just sit still and say, look at the bumper of that car, red car there, and you look at it. So just keep your eye on it, and directly you'd be at the front bumper.
Yeah.
Not move.
The Space Needle would turn. Remember that? You said
really?
you could set it up in Gatlinburg.
Yeah.
Said it would turn you all the way around. I think it took, I don't know, about an hour to go all the way around, but it turned with you.
Yeah.
Hey, speaking of elevators, get one like Jim Clayton. He's going to pull your car in, push your button, it does a turn around, and you're ready to pull out.
Yeah.
Well, that's what you need.
That's something.
That's right. Yeah.
They got that idea from the trains.
It works for the trains. I guess it'd work for your car, right?
Yeah. They caught the turntable. That's where they turned the engines. They just pulled it up there and had a big table. It's a big round thing. See, my uncle was supervisor for airmen. And I got to see some of that stuff, riding them cart runs on the track and all that. Yeah. But you go up there and there's a great big thing with it, pull up on it, and then that section just turns around, the train headed back.
Have you got your call yet?
Huh?
Did you get your call yet? You're not up for Secretary of Treasurer? Hey, he's putting his cabinet together. It's pretty good cabinet.
I want to be...
You've done okay so far.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yep. I think he's doing good so far.
I thought Secretary of Treasury, though, David WYSH's name signature on the $100 bill looked pretty good.
Wouldn't be bad.
No, I wouldn't for the big boys. Mr. Walker kind of thought like that for me, but nobody.
Secretary of Commerce or something. You could
Secretary
do something.
Yeah. I just like to be the janitor. Anything up there, anything pay good up there, wouldn't it, right?
Oh, Lord.
I'm liking what he's putting together so far. I think he's got some pretty good people.
One fella that I really like out of the whole shooting match, too, real good, is Whitaker.
Yeah, I was hoping he'd pick him for Attorney General.
Every time the Attorney General goes out, he puts Whitaker.
Oh, he was the interim Attorney General.
He always uses him.
Yeah.
He may want him for a standby.
Yeah, he might be.
He may be a standby symbolist.
He's got Matt Gaetz nominated as Attorney General right now.
Yeah.
It's kind of rubbed some people wrong, but
I don't care.
We can't handle him.
He said he don't care. He's a one-termer, and that's good because he's a lame duck president, so he can do that's a good thing.
He's putting people in there gonna get stuff done that don't care, just like he don't care.
I'm glad he picked that Pete Hegseth.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah, man, that was.
People calling here yesterday going, what do you think about him throwing out all the 4-star generals? And I said, I hope the door don't hit them in the ass as they leave. That's what I said.
That's right.
I don't care. See them. Bye.
Well, they're first drawing a big check. They ain't doing nothing.
I'll tell you something, I wish y'all could answer for me. You know, we got the Green New Deal coming, or trying to get that. It's probably go fall over now, but yeah. They don't want you to have gas. They don't want you to do no drilling. And that fireplace behind them, I kept looking at it.
Well, it was roaring.
And them logs never did go down.
No, because it was a gas fireplace.
There's gas in there. They want gas, but we don't have gas.
Was it gas? Because I watched it, I thought, man, that's got to be hot. It was roaring, and it looked like embers were falling. Is it a gas?
Well, it did. The wood never moved. You know, fire burning that hot, you at least see part of it.
Same, and the blazes would be the very same. I was really.
Well, TV screen.
You'd at very least see the embers coming up out of it. Going up
I saw some of them dropping there a couple times.
It's in that
lights on today.
In Marta Fisher.
Oh, I'm gonna tell you
we got one of our TV sets on.
I got you. Well, it looked like it was hot, but I was glad to see
it might have been an artificial fireplace, but it sure looked real.
Oh man, they do.
Yeah,
I mean, they really
I know they do. Yeah, I've got the real gas, so.
Yeah. Well, you know, just gassy.
Well, if we run out of gas, we just eat a lot of beans.
Yeah.
Well.
Oh goodness.
You're telling about what the Monday night? How you did? You had a good one Monday night.
What was it? A good show.
Yeah. For how long?
We had some good pickers on there.
Company was good too.
You and her done good on your solo.
Yeah.
We thought she was going to be short-handed, and we was going to volunteer to get up there.
Really?
You know, you got with Creed, he's got a nose flute. Y'all could really put on the show.
But they actually went out through the order trying to get people to sing.
Yeah, and they skipped us.
Rick introduced me.
Yes, you want to sing.
Yeah, they looked at me and her, and they go, does anybody else? Anybody else?
Yeah. Rick called this guy, built him up, and he said, I walked up and said, I got sore throat.
Yeah, he did. He got the mic, said something, thanks for coming or whatever.
Big,
he said,
big
I got
introduction.
and walked off.
Well, we got to get little Chris over here to sing one. He'll bring his guitar and sing a couple or something, 2 or 3. I just want to interview him because I didn't have no time to talk to him. But he's been around in music. I mean, he's played a lot of shows because he's professional, you know. He had real good appearance and sung. Oh, I mean, he was great like that. You didn't have to act naturally, kill a. Boy, he stepped up and hit it like he's supposed to do it.
Hit and go.
Who wrote Act Naturally?
He wrote a bunch of stuff.
Buck didn't write Act Naturally?
Huh?
Buck Owens didn't write Act Naturally?
No. He wrote it for Buck.
Okay.
And it wasn't Merle Kilgore or any of them?
Oh, Lord. He was a big, heavy-set guy, and he was always overweight.
Ron's on it.
With
I'm
a
looking.
flat top hat. He was on the opera for years.
Oh, yeah.
Not Ed Bruce.
No, it's that, Lord, I know him good.
Well, this gets
Johnny Russell.
Oh, Johnny
Russell.
That's right. Oh, yeah, Johnny Russell.
Oh, yeah, he wrote a bunch of good stuff.
Johnny.
Everywhere they went to eat, they'd go out to eat place. He said, man, I got good pie here.
Yeah. You know who's his big buddy is Russ.
Yeah.
They worked together down there at Opryland, and my mom and daddy went down there one time, and all they wanted to do was see Johnny Russell and Russ and Becky.
Oh, yeah, they did bad. You know, he told a joke one night on the Opry and said, we was talking the other day about some of the people done gone on, and said if we could, I dreamed I got there, and when I did, I went to St. Peter and said, there was he called some of his name, it was off. It's a boy played on the Opry and said, come up there, and I said, what's he doing here? I said, look, what's that chain to his legs? That's ugly woman. Said he just barely made it. So he's going to tell this ugly woman on his leg from now on. Said there's another and went over and said, he told which one it was, called her names off, said, well, what's he doing here? If we say Ray Price, what's Ray Price doing here? With the ugly, what's that on his leg? He said, it's an ugly woman, so he just barely made it. And says, here come another now. I forget who he called it now, but it's somebody real big, you know. So here come out Roy Acuff, we'll say, it wasn't him, it was somebody like that. Roy Acuff come out, and he had Dolly Parton chained to his leg. And they said, them other two guys was nicer, and as good as Roy, they sung good, and they done everything. Said, how come they got Dolly Parton chained to his leg? He said, Dolly Parton just barely made it.
Yeah.
He always had jokes to go.
Oh, he's funny. Yeah.
Johnny Russell, boy.
He wrote a bunch of good songs. Johnny Russell did.
A bunch of
He
them.
wrote that one that Jimmy had Brown done.
I like him. White
He
socks.
talked about this
Blue and deer. That's one of his
Christmas
big.
party.
Yeah.
And said this little girl was there, one of the kids, and said every time somebody started to leave, she'd just back down and start crying, you know, didn't want them to leave. And Johnny Russell said he got up and he got ready to leave, started toward the door and said she just sat there. So he looked around and said, aren't you even going to cry? Being that song come over his head, Jimmy Ed Brown did it.
Yeah.
Man, it's a good song.
Oh,
What,
yeah.
Archie's Ever Gonna Cry?
Oh, yeah.
Wow.
He told that story on the Country Family Reunion
Oh,
one
those are
night.
great.
Yeah.
Well, he was good. Wrote some good stuff, too. That Wayne Kemp wrote a lot of good stuff, didn't he?
A lot of
Oh,
good stuff.
yeah.
Wayne Kemp was great. That's Rick did one of his songs the other night, and I love Wayne Kemp. Yeah, I went to see him at the WNOX auditorium one time. John Hitch back in the early '80s had him over here.
Yeah, I know it.
And great singer and great songwriter. He wrote he wrote the Fireman for George Strait, but he wrote a bunch of other songs. Don't send me no angels that George Jones.
Who'll turn out the lights?
He'll turn out the lights. He had a
Your
ton of.
world tonight.
Yeah.
He wrote a bunch of stuff for Conway.
Did he?
Him and Elliot, big buddies, yeah.
I bet. Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, Wayne was a real good writer.
Bradley Reeves.
Didn't he write a lot of Christian music too?
I think he probably did. I'm trying to think if
I'm pretty sure.
I don't know
he
which
did.
one, but Wayne, he was a body man, auto body, and so that was the similarities between him and John Hitch. I think that he knew, but I remember him coming out there, and he had on this long leather trench coat, and he sang for 2 hours, and it was hot in there, and I thought, why is it y'all keep those on you so you don't mess your voice up or something? But boy, he had to be burning up. I just admiring that coat. That's a nice coat. Yeah. But, Wayne's great. Wayne's great.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's somebody, the young guy was telling y'all about Zach Top that is really, really good. So they asked him if you could do the Opry with anybody, and he said living or live or living. And so he listed who he would want to do a show with.
Mm-hmm.
And so he loves Vince Gill, but he said Merle Haggard, George Jones, and Gary Stewart.
Well, Gary
Keith
Stewart's
Whitley.
good. A lot of people
Oh,
know
listen,
who he
Gary
is, but
Stewart.
He's really good.
Velvet Chain, is that?
Well, no, he's one that sung. She's acting single, I'm drinking double, and he's got a bunch of other songs.
I'm drinking singles. No, she's drinking singles. I'm drinking double.
She's acting
single,
Yeah.
so I'm drinking double.
But his voice is very distinct. But man,
Well, they
he
play
has
him
some
a lot
great
of
stuff.
Willie.
Yeah,
Willie
yeah,
Rodeo, that's
yeah,
why
they
I
do.
hear him.
He's can't say that here, man. We got WYSH.
That's okay.
No, I'm kidding.
Yeah, boy,
But
he's good. He's good.
He was very good, and I think he was a lot along the same lines, if I'm not mistaken. Mel Street, I think he also committed suicide. If I'm not
Really?
mistaken. I think he did, but it was, yeah, he's good.
So did Fine Young.
Oh, there's some dandies down there. You know, you go down there at Opry backstage, and when I played some of it, but if you go, most of them is just as nice as they can be.
Yeah,
for sure.
I mean, you'll see one every now and then, but if he's kind of cocky, he ain't ever done as much. He ain't got no hits. But most of them are real, they're real nice, and they say, "What are you doing?" "Oh, okay." I remember Alan Collins down there, and he used to go down there quite a bit. Bill Monroe had just come in off the road, and they needed a guitar picker, and they said, "Who you want, Bill?" "Hey, give me Don Gibson." Don Gibson come out with Ellie's big old arch top he had. He played perfect rhythm. They said Ellie told me that when the Everly Brothers come down there and they said, "We want that guy that plays rhythm for Don Gibson." They said, "What, Don Gibson?"
Don Gibson.
Some of their songs come on like a choo choo choo.
Yeah, he played rhythm.
They brought him on with a
good
guitar beat just like him.
Yeah.
They said that's Don Gibson.
Yeah. That was your call, your elevator, so he's going to have to send somebody out and he can give you some numbers.
Okay.
There you go.
Okay, we're on top of it this morning.
We're on top of it?
Yeah.
Let's just don't fall off.
We've done enough falling for the year.
Yeah.
We went into Dunkin' Donuts, and Fred would always make up a story every morning. I don't care what morning it was, we was in there 5 mornings a week. You walk, "Oh, there comes old Kaz's bunch," We get our care package, that's what he called it. All them donuts and coffee stuff, our care package. "Here's old Kaz Walker's bunch. How old is Kaz right now?" It's either how old is Kaz or how's Kaz doing. One woman went in and said, "How's Kaz doing?" He said, "It's bad. I didn't know whether you'd heard or not." Said, "He fell off his billfold and broke his leg." And the next morning or two, he'd make up a story, I'd just look and see what he's going to say. And he walked in, "You got doorknobs." He called them doorknobs. He called them donuts. "Got them doorknobs ready?" He'd say like that. They'd hit box. They knew exactly what time was coming in. Everything was right on schedule. And they said, "How old's Cat?" And he said, "Well, which one are you talking about?" "The one on TV." He said, "Well, the one on there now is the 4th one." So what they do, they went to UT and made a thing of, it made a form of his face. And so they just put it on the younger man. Said, "That's a 4th one on there." Said, "He's doing pretty good." He said, "If he gets too sick, they'll just put another in there." He said, "Well, Kaz ain't never going to die. He's going to be here for a long time."
Did you ever see Fred get befuddled or not have an answer or come back for something?
Never.
He was pretty sharp and quick, wasn't he?
Quick. Oh, he could do anything.
Yeah.
I told you what he said. I just had to think it. Me and him was hauling Christmas trees out of Virginia. And he's dressed up, and he said, "Now, Faye, my feet gets cold." She said, "Well, put talcum powder in your socks." I never did try it, but she said, "That'll keep your feet warm." I don't know what it did or not, but anyhow, she looked at me now, and she said, "Have you got gas?" Just like that. She's going to give me some gas money. And when she said it, I belched. Fred said, "She looked just like a parrot or something up there on the pole." No, a pig on the pole. You remember a pig on the pole? She looked like a pig on the pole up there, a pig in a hog in an acorn patch. And he said, "If you can't get them acorn down, just pole them pigs." He always had something. I mean, he was just that fast, boy. He'd come up with it. This woman said she was psychic, so and when Jake Butcher was running for governor, and they lost that little boy, they found out. You remember that little boy got lost up there in the Smoky Mountains? You remember that?
Yeah.
And she was going to tell him where he's at. I mean, she didn't tell him where, but she told me. She called me the day after Jake lost and said, "I told you." I said, "Oh, you did?" She hadn't told me, no. I told everybody around he was going to lose. And I said, "If you're so psychic, why don't you tell me where that little boy is?" She said, "Well, I'd have to go up there and study that case a little bit, and, she's psychic. And so we was there talking to them. They done printing for us at the store. And Fred was with me, and she said, said, "I've been having some dreams lately. Said, I've been dreaming about dead aunts." Said, "One of my aunts is fixing to die." Said, "I had been dreaming that dead aunts." Said, "Did you ever dream anything like that, Fred?" He said, "Yes, ma'am." Said, "I dreamed of a dead cockroach one time."
I don't know if it was him. You speaking of psychics, I don't know if he wrote that joke or not, but you heard about this this guy who was want to hire a new psychic, so they gave him the name of his psychic. He went to the office, knocked on the door, and she said, "Who is it?" And he left. He said, "This must not be very good."
he said this Butreno said, "Do you know I was gone in the Army?" I thought, well, I just got in on the furlough. I ain't going to call my wife and tell her I'm just going to slip in. So there she was in the kitchen washing dishes. Said, somebody, I was standing there kind of holding on, walking up to her, and said, somebody knocked on the door, and she told that guy standing with her, said, "That's my husband." And said he jumped out the window and said it scared me so bad I jumped out the other one. he can make them up, buddy. He told that one, of course, he told it, Boots, said, me and my wife said, I got up that morning and said, you know, said I was we'd slept in late, said I never was at home early morning, had to get out and go to the cattle walker show. Said the milkman come in and said, and he did. He hollered, "What do you need?" And she said, he said, I had just got up to go in there and kindle up a fire, and said I put her old blue house coat on, and I was in there shoving them ashes out, and said, he said, "What will it be? Same old thing." He said, "Betty, did I get a surprise?" Yeah, that was coming in. Yeah. Well, he used to tell some good stuff. Yeah. You know, about the rat and all them. He had some good, didn't he? Mm-hmm. But he could tell them the next night in your life again, because he just changed a word or two in his expression. Mm-hmm. Me and Ellie, they kept on them benches for VIPs, and Ellie, we get through playing. He says, "Go out there and sit on that bench and listen to them." I said, "Man, you can do them good as they can, but they're funny." We sit there and listen to that whole routine over and over.
I like that. He told about this. One of his brothers fell down in the three-holer. Said he was in the house. Said, Mama. Said, Billy fell down the commode. Said, he's going down for the third time. She said, "Oh, don't worry about it." Said, "Just busy having another. We better clean him up."
That's right. Just have another. Yeah. You talked about Johnny Russell earlier. He, I think in the last few years when he was still active, he was over in Pigeon Forge. He started doing some shows over in Pigeon Forge. Oh, yeah, and I think I can't remember which theater he was at. It wasn't Memories. I can't remember where he was at. It may have been Country Tonight, but Johnny Russell played up there.
I do remember that. Yeah. Country Tonight, I think what it was.
Yeah, Johnny Russell, and I think Jim Ed Brown was up there, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah. There's a lot of them. We had...
I thought when they were fixing to do their first show, me and Zane bought a ticket. And I don't know who I was going to be on, but Con was going to be on it with them.
Yeah. But they were part of they did a regular show dates up there and did that. We had back in 07 and 06, 07, 08 when I was up at the Smith Family Theater, they had Lee Greenwood come up there and started doing some stuff up there, and then T.G. Shepard started coming up there and doing them. So a lot of them would come kind of like it was Branson. He'd come up there and start doing maybe a season or so.
Did you see Lee Greenwood's picture with Creed the other night?
Yeah, and he's also been down to Noah's Barbershop and sang "God Bless USA." Yeah. Creed had last Saturday night. He had Peyton Manning and Creed, and Lee Greenwood was up there.
Yeah, he was with him. He was taking a picture.
Peerless Prize, that boy.
Peerless Prize.
Was receiver for Peyton when he played.
Yeah, Peerless Prize. Now he had a bunch of them with him last Saturday night. So yeah, but Lee Greenwood was up there. Oh, hey man, before we forget, now your buddy, did you see him down there with the cheerleaders?
Who's that?
Jelly Roll.
Oh, what?
He came to the game the other night, and when they scored a touchdown, the cheerleaders, he got down there and did a couple of push-ups. He had on a big Tennessee...
He's lost a little bit of weight, ain't he?
Well, he may have. I don't know.
He's a big boy.
I tell you what, he may just need to look behind him. I don't know.
There's one about it reminded me of him. There's one his size that helped me get on stage up there at the Knoxville Fire. Grabbed the end of that.
Oh, no.
He carried the whole thing, I believe. He just grabbed the front of that wheelchair like it wasn't nothing. Another grabbed the handle, maybe run up 10 to 15 steps or just flying.
Yeah, I told him, I said,
well, you picked some good, Barney. They were stout, wasn't they?
Yeah, they're pretty stout. Yeah.
Barney said, "We need some help here. We need somebody to carry him up the steps, boy."
They said, we're going to go. They come over and said, Barney, we're going to go to lunch right now. Does he need to get off the stage yet? And I said, no, he'll sit up there until y'all get back. Nobody else is taking him back off.
Or something else. But he said that Lee Greenwood, Tracy, Creed's driver and nurse and everything, she come over and was talking to me Monday night, and she said, looky here, here's Creed with Lee Greenwood and Peyton and all of them, and said, he said, you know, said, I've been down to the president's house several times here lately. He said, he's the nicest, talking about Trump.
Yeah.
Said, he's the nicest guy, one of the nicest people in his house that I've ever met. Said,
yeah.
He's just so common. Said, you know what I think? In about 3 or 4 months, you have it back on track.
Well, if you see the commercial with President Trump and Lee Greenwood, he's got a Bible out called God Bless the USA, and President Trump's advertising for it, talking about it. Have you seen it?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty good. But it's a commercial with President Trump and Lee Greenwood together advertising for this Bible.
That's cool.
Yeah.
So he spent about 3 days at Mar-a-Lago.
Yeah. Trying to find a restroom is that big.
He's even got elevated his restrooms.
Yeah, he's got it going on. Though.
We played years ago for Governor Sunquist. We was at Jim Clayton's house, where his house he built over on the Tennessee River. And me and Luke went in and had our instruments, and he said, here, just get on the elevator. And we got on, he said, you know, you all the first 2 musicians ever rode this elevator, because he just opened his house. And the governor was there and a lot of people. And I said, man, this is a good idea. And then Mr. Russell over here invented one in Clinton. He had one that was on a big worm gear, you know, run up like it's the safest one you ever get.
Spiral, yeah.
He'd push a button, you got a thing, it'd run you up there. Of course, he had a pulley and an electric motor.
Mm-hmm.
It'd fly up with you if you mash it on down, it just cut off and you got up there. And he invented it, and he told me that they called him from somewhere, Washington or somewhere. They don't know if they could get a patent on it. They'd like to have it. Somebody did, some company up there. I don't know whether he sold it to them or not. But, you know, I now thought about this. Dr. Nat Winston, Dr. Nat Winston that run for governor, and he cooked and presented me a banjo. It's got a head on it this big, and it's a walking stick just like this. On this end, then you've got a banjo, and you can really pick it. It's got strings and everything. And of course, it's got a small neck. I picked it on stage. They wanted me to pick it. And he presented me that, and Gene Horner made him one. And they got together and said, David ought to have one of these. I'm going to get that thing out and start walking with it.
That's what you need to walk with.
Now, that looked good. And Mr. Russell made me one, too. Mr. Russell made me one. He saw the idea. He changed it a little bit. And on his, and I said, you know, these things need somewhere to put your picks, so you wouldn't have to hunt them every time. And he put over in some place that put in a snuff box, one of them little metal stuff boxes got the screw. And I put the picks in. It's still in it, and I played it some. He just come in one day and said, you got a 6-inch drum head? And I said, yeah. He said, give me that a minute. He said, I'm going to take it home with me. I'll bring it back to you. He did his own walking stick.
With a banjo.
But I just, Dr. Nat Winston, it just looks like this right here.
Yeah.
It just looks like it's cane here. It's a single, but, it's really stout. And then you can sit down and pick a tune on it.
That's great.
Oh, goodness. What you been up to this week, Ron? Anything new?
No, nothing new. I was sick, what's today? Thursday. I was sick Tuesday, but I'm feeling better. I went to the doctor. Trying to figure out what's wrong with me. But I don't know yet. They ran tests and did this and can't find that. I got to go back and do more, but we'll be all right.
The testing and the waiting is the hardest part.
Yeah.
Not knowing. Yeah.
Just fingers crossed. Can't never do nothing unless you get your fingers crossed.
I can't cross my fingers. I broke it, and it don't. Never mind. Yeah.
Oh goodness.
Just getting ready for Christmas and the holidays. Trying to get everything ready to go.
We had a big thing today. Veterans let's see, it was Tuesday. Veterans Day was Monday, but we had Tuesday had a big thing over in Knoxville, ETMAC they call it, and saw a lot of dignitaries over there, and it was great for Veterans Day and whole week long. But Veterans Day Monday, and then last Saturday morning they had the breakfast for the veterans. Terry, Frank, and they do such a great job of the Anderson County veterans down there at the gymnasium at the Civic Center.
Yes.
So I'd like to thank them. We got
They
to come
do
out.
that. I think it's the third Saturday of the month.
They do a great job doing that. She does a fantastic.
They've been doing that for a long time. I can't remember how long, but a long time.
Yeah. I actually went over to Tuesday afternoon. I went to the Veterans Affairs office in Blount County trying to help a guy that with some stuff. And that's one thing I'm hoping this administration will help again with the veteran benefits, because of those of you that's listening, if you're a veteran, you know how difficult it is to get, be qualified for certain things. And
yeah,
I love the songs. You wrote songs that are patriotic and things like that, but
I'm ready to push America out the door.
Yeah, but Lee Greenwood, that God Bless America, and those things, and our buddy Justin Terry, that Wave the Flag, is a really good song.
Mm-hmm.
But you think how many country songs have been sung about the country and the love of country? It's been a lot. Merle, Walking on the Fighting Side of Me.
Yeah.
I like that. Jimmy Fortune. It's more than a name on the wall.
That's right. That's a great one.
That's a good song.
George had one similar.
Remember old Mo Bandy, Americana? Oh, man.
Yeah. Merle had that other one, Jesus Take a Hold. That's a great song from the early 70s. Talking about, I think it's called Jesus Take a Hold. But it's about the situation in America back then, even, but it's very relative to today as well.
That Okie Muskogee, wasn't that good?
That was a great one.
Told about ball games and everything,
Sure.
Yeah.
What everybody done back then. It was really good at its time, right? It was timed right, when in that period of time, boy, it was a different, in the 70s, it was a whole different world, wasn't it?
Late 70s and late 60s and early 70s was, you think about, man, it's volatile. You think about what they're doing now and stuff.
You just would go up there around UT and get killed.
Yeah.
I mean, truck drivers out and beat them up. I was up there, I'd go up there and play every now and then, and I had to play a lot of shows up there for different ones. All them boys that had them restaurants and things up there knew me, and a lot of them, and they'd come through there, and you'd see fights. They tell me, see, if they come here and start fighting, now don't fight them back. Just quit. We'll pay you. He said, we can't handle them. Said they're just, and they had long hair, And this one guy said, he said, I run a barbershop. Said, but business. They said, how's business? It's so bad. I run out on the street the other day and saw a guy had long hair. I said, how much you charge me? Come in and let me give you a haircut. My clippers hadn't been on that a week, Everybody had that sandals and hair growed out.
Lord.
Dresses, and the way they dressed and everything back then. I remember they called us to play Down Under. Up there, some of them did. And you walked in this building and they raised the door up in the floor. You had steps on it. We had to get our instruments out up here and put them around our neck so we get down in there.
Jeez.
Went down there, buddy, and it was a garden party. Whoa, they lit that stuff up. And Monroe said, I believe I'm getting drunk on this stuff. It fogged. We said play about 30 minutes. It was bad. We come out and started breathing. I think we all were getting a little high. I think Monroe was about ready to let his hair grow out, but he got over it.
That had been something to say.
That'd been something.
Mm-hmm.
But we come out of there and he said, well, I'm glad this is over. I can breathe out here. Now, I'm talking about, you saw smoke where you could slice it with a knife and you slice it. About probably 50 people in there smoking it. It's called Down Under. I forgot. It's around the UT there somewhere. But
you remember in Atlanta, mainly back in the 70s, I guess it was, they had Underground Atlanta, those clubs and stuff underneath there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, there was.
I had a friend. You remember that thing they had in Georgia? What was that governor's name? I forgot. I used to know it. Anyhow, they had one of them big hippie parties. Oh, there's hundreds and hundreds. It's big. It's just too big for them to take. They run out of food, and it's trying to get catered food in there. Well, when their time got up, they wouldn't leave. They just said, "We're in it so much. There's a big park, some kind of great big place in there." And you remember that, don't you?
Are you talking about Six Flags or?
No, it's in Georgia.
Stone Mountain.
And some of my friends that back then had been there to it, and they said that we'd been in there on that stuff. Maybe, I think it's close to 10 days. It's for a week, and it run over. I didn't know that governor's name, but anyhow, she said he come in there, him and his officials, and he said, "Now we got to break this thing up. They ain't gonna rent it to you no longer, and you got to go home, but you can't go home in this condition." He said, "Just stand here." Said, "We're gonna take care of it." And said he handed them out. "Everybody get you a bar of soap." And said they got bars of soap, and he coming out with the fire truck, and they washed them down on the fire trucks. She said that really happened. I washed. Said we hadn't had baths, and we just got on that stuff and stayed on it. And said we all had to take a bath. Said they just toweled and took their clothes off and started washing. Said,
hosed them down, huh?
Hosed them down.
Good Lord.
I knew that guy's name real well because he was a well-known governor of that big old party there, but I forgot where it was in Georgia. And
I don't remember.
He just hosed them down with. Said it didn't hurt you. Now they just had water with it, just come right down on. Boy, she talked to 6 or 7 or 8 maybe fire trucks in there just getting bundles. He said, "You're just too dirty to leave here." He said, "We're gonna clean you up." They had bars. There's a whole load of people come in, passed out soap bars, and they said. I remember it on the news said they left that place. Oh, it's trash, cans, paper, and you know them big caterer people run out of food. There's some of them getting hungry, but they didn't know it, I guess. But anyhow,
they didn't give us hungry, did they? Oh,
well, there's a lot of things went on, wasn't it?
Different times.
Back in days.
Different. It was like that up our Washington that time too.
Yeah. Same thing as Woodstock. I mean, pretty much what happened. Came in, didn't leave for a while.
Yeah, I was playing that. We opened up for Wayne Newton. We had a lot of people, several bands, 3 or 4 bands was there to open up for him. And we was one of them. And I got off the bus. We had 2 buses with that bunch I was traveling with. And got off right at the stage. I'm talking about close from here to your front door up there at the stage. The guy pulled right up, and I got off. These big policemen, I mean, they're big dudes, had sticks in their hands. And I said, "Good night, the Monroe. They're all smoking pot." And that's back in 82, I guess, or 80-something. I've been 70, it's somewhere back in 70s or 80s. 80, I don't know. It's whenever they had that bicentennial year.
76.
Might have been, but it might have been before. No, it's up in the 80s. Something else they had it for. It's something real big, but I know it was in the 80s. But anyhow, we got off, and I said, "Look at that." And there's somebody make mentions to it. One of the people in the bus said, "They're smoking pot, ain't they?" He said, "Yeah." I said, "Ain't that against the law?" "No, not up here, it ain't." He said, "Did you realize," that's what I heard him. He said, "Did you realize how many people that there boys all over that big old thing where it statue?" He said, "There are over 1 million people here. We can't arrest nobody. What would we do with them? We ain't got no place to put them." Said, "We just look mean and break up fights."
Do you remember when they let you smoke in the Civic Coliseum and different places for concerts?
Smoke cigarettes and stuff.
So my very first concert, I went to see Alice Cooper in 1975 or 76 at the Civic Coliseum. I was young, and so I didn't know what marijuana was or nothing. I was so naive, or as Barney says, naive. And I'm sitting there, and so welcome to my nightmare tour he was on. And this guy tried to hand me a joint, I guess it was. And I said, no, thanks, I don't smoke. I just sat there, and I thought, what is that smell? Oh, it's funny.
We was called Sim. L.E. was working for Hank Jr. for a while. He's over the T-shirts and all that. He'd run around and make sure everything's okay. And we'd go back where he's counting money, and it's taking up money in boxes. I mean, and they'd have piles of dollar bills, 5, 10. It's like a big bundle of that money. Took in $90,000 off T-shirts and stuff, and he only charged $75,000 back in those days to be there. And we was back there with him, so we stayed mostly back there in the office, dressing room up there at Knoxville Coliseum, and of course at Earl Thomas Conley is on there. See, L.E. got him going.
I'll tell you, he's great.
He made his song.
He made somebody mad in Nashville.
Yeah.
He would be in.
Yeah, I knew about that. But anyhow, L.E. told me all that. But anyhow, he was up there singing. We got our pictures made with Earl Thomas and Hank Jr. and he's got up there and got Ricky just that's back in his wild when he took his shirt off, tore it off, and he's up there. And me and L.E. was standing right there when you walked back in the dressing rooms, and I kept looking, something was dropping on the floor, and I think a little hit me, and I said, "Is it leaking?" I looked up on his blood, too. I was up there fighting. His blood. Oh, man, that's blood. Back up, L.E. That's blood getting on us here. That's fights break out.
He hadn't changed much. We was over there last year, me and JJ, the sheriff, and saw him and did a great concert. But back in the 80s, I may have been the one you was at because of me and my wife.
We're standing up on, got up on the piano.
Well, this one here, I went out to get some nachos, and I had to. They was fighting, and they was doing other stuff there. Man and their wife or his girlfriend or somebody out there, and I said, "Hey, buddy, I'm trying to step over you. I'm just trying to get me some nachos." You'd look around, some people be fighting, and the others was doing the other stuff. So
yeah.
I was like, "Boy, it's a good show, huh?"
If you want to see some really good scenes, just go down to Louisiana.
Oh goodness.
Well, there'll be one bunch fighting, one bunch cussing, another bunch will be preaching, and the other just be standing like a statue, and they'll stand there till you give them $1.
What are you talking about, Mardi Gras? Or what are you
Mardi Gras,
talking about? I ain't never been down there.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
Too, Dave, didn't you say when he was up by Washington, said, he was asking, said, "Can we leave our bus sitting here?" Lord, no, man. Said, that can steal the wheels off that bus tonight, and said, "If you stand there, key, they'll shoot you." Said, "Take it to Walmart somewhere in one of the big parking lots or motel somewhere. You can't leave it here."
That ain't your Hank Jr. jacket you got on, is it?
No, I got Fender.
Oh, that's a Fender one. Okay.
I got, yeah, he made me one, put my name on it.
Have you seen that show, God, Family, and Football?
Who's in it?
I don't know.
It's on Fox Nation.
Yeah,
I need to go see it. No, I have not seen that.
It's on TV.
No. Did you ever watch the Mike and Judge series we've told you about? You've got to watch it. I'm telling you, it's worth the time to watch it. Really well done and real informative about those different ones. George was on too, Waylon, Johnny Paycheck, and Joe Shaver. Oh, they're great.
Wasn't that something?
They're great.
I liked it where one of them when that Paycheck.
That Paycheck run the wheels off the bus.
The drum.
He sure did. Not on the wheel, the drum. Still driving the bus.
It was someone far 10 foot out there.
Pulled in there and they's.
Said he don't get there or bust. He had one back wheel pulling and that drum on the other. He just went sparks were flying.
He didn't run into town. He drug into town. Yeah.
I like the one that where George rode his lawnmower uptown.
Yeah. That story, that's a true story. I mean, those things that...
Merle wrote that Wolverton Mountain.
Yeah.
And he took it to George. Said, "George, this would be a good song for you."
Who did it? Johnny Horton?
Songs.
Is it Johnny Horton did it? Or
no.
George King?
Merle Kilgore wrote Wolverton Mountain. Yeah. But he showed to George first.
I got you.
George Jones. George said, "I hate mountain songs."
Yeah, right.
Probably drunk.
Yeah.
But somebody else did it. Made a big hit out of it.
It wasn't Johnny Horton. It was King, Claude King.
Yeah.
Claude King did it. Yeah.
He wrote Family Bible, didn't he?
Merle Kilgore?
No, Claude King.
Claude King, did he?
I think he did, didn't he?
I used to think for years it was Willie Nelson. I thought it for years
it was Willie. Wrote Family Bible.
Yeah, he wrote it, so $50. Claude King's one recorded it.
Okay. Yeah. And then Ava Barber recorded it.
He's right. Willie sold for $50.
Yeah.
And Claude King, because I was watching the other day on the car radio, Claude King.
Oh, yeah.
When I first started picking the banjo, they asked me, it modulates. And I was picking it with the Brewers boys. And he said, "This modulates." And I had never done none of that, I just started picking. I had modulated, and I had to sit down and learn it after we got through doing it, but I got through it. And He said, this is one that Claude King recorded. But Merle sold it $50, didn't he?
That's crazy. Hey, this week.
Willie sold it.
Willie sold it for. Willie sold it for $50.
Who wrote? Who wrote that? Dust on the Bible.
That was Walter Bells.
Walter Bells.
Yeah, because I worked for him.
Yeah.
I worked for him for one
Dust
season.
on the Bible, God's holy word.
Not to be confused with Dust on the Bottle.
No.
Yeah.
Which is
Walter
another
Bells, yeah, it was a big hit too, and a huge hit. They said that when he went to Louisiana Hayride, that Hank Williams was there, and said, Hank said, who's going to be here a big star that I need to watch out for? They said the Bells brothers. Said, and they come in here. Said, buddy, said they're the ones that are high one on the market right now, and so they pulled up in a big old Packard limousine. They got out, went in there, and he said, well, I can kill them any day. And said, oh, Hank, when they tore the house down, Of course, they were good, too. Yeah. Bells brothers were good. They worked on a Cass Walker show some.
Have you ever seen the story of how Hank Williams Jr. learned to play the banjo?
Mm-hmm.
You know who helped him? Earl Scruggs and Grandpa Jones.
Did they?
Yeah, that's who he got to get to help him play the banjo.
Ellie White taught him fiddle.
Is that right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And he had Ellie's fiddle, and when he learned to play the fiddle, he gave it his fiddle that Ellie had him pick out.
Yeah.
And he gave it to him, and then I bought it.
Is that right? Wow.
Yeah, I had Hank Jr.'s. When he learned on Ellie, said, would you like to have this? And I said, yeah. After he told me the story.
You still have it?
I sold it. Somebody wanted it worse than I did.
I figured.
Somebody wanted it a little worse than I did, and they got it, I guess. But I had it hanging up for a long time. It had the thing on it. This was Hank Williams' first fiddle, or Hank Jr.'s first fiddle. And he traveled with L.A. L.A. might have been traveling with him. And I think he was with Willie and Stoney Cooper at that time. I think Hank Jr. traveled with him a little while.
Wow.
And they said we'd sit on the bus, and I showed him. He said, boy, he could learn music quick.
Yeah.
So I showed him how to fiddle. And said he just one day was on the bus, and he said, L.A., show me how to play fiddle a little bit. And I said, I did. He said, would you get me one? I mean, I don't know what to buy. And he said, I knew a scalper had a good one. And I got it for him. And said when he got through with it, he went and bought the high dollar one and said, here, I'm going to give you this for showing me how to.
He still plays in concert. Just last year at his concert, he played several instruments. That fiddle is one of them he plays.
So he busted his good one then over Smokey White's head.
Yeah.
Then he had luck to fight.
Yeah, busted all the time he did.
Sure did.
Lord.
Well, he had a short temper.
Yeah. And it just as was going on stage.
He didn't care.
And he said the strings fell down on the front of it. He tuned it right quick and just went ahead and played it like it wasn't. I was with him one night when he was with Bonnie and Buster. He was playing his fiddle, and when he did, all the hair come out of the bow. Just flipped over, and he just flipped it over and played with a stick. Just kept going.
Lord.
He had so much frosm on that stick.
I guess so.
Yeah. I'll tell you the funny one I've told it before, but Jim Ball, the guy that I worked with in Gatlinburg, Roger Ball was his son, and went to Nashville with all. I worked pretty good a while with him up there. Me and L.E. worked one season with him. And he was on the Cass Walker show. He was with Osborne Brothers. Then Jim Ball worked with Osborne Brothers. And they just wanted him because he's a real good friend. He's one that taught me and Russ how to MC. Russ works with him. Jim Ball's, he was just the greatest. He's the best MC you ever heard. But anyhow, he had a flat top haircut, crew cut, they call it, you know. And Dolly was jumping around there, and she just grabbed his fiddle bow up and looking at it, and she just said, "Vit!" run it through his head, and he had that butch wax on there, you know, all right grease. He said, "Well, I can't play that now." He said that me and him and my mama washed on that thing all night trying to get that grease out of that horsehair. He didn't have another bow. You know, people was pretty poor back then. So they wash, like never got that grease out of it. So he played. They get it all good the next morning. They'd be on TV.
I got over Lee one time. Was up Appalachian. I saw you made him. I told him when he bent somewhere to the bathroom or something, he come back and I took one of his bows because he always had two. And I had one of his bows in there, and I said, "Eddie," I said, "I'll take your bow back there in the bathroom." I said, "Wash it off. Couldn't got a lot of old light hair and stuff.
He said, "You did, boy."
He's ready to kill you, isn't he?
Oh yeah.
Hey, this week is it the CMA Awards? You going down?
20th? No, I'm not going this year.
Yeah, well, I started to tell you
Too much money.
They're going to do a tribute to George Strait, and my guy I'm telling y'all about that we fell in love with, Zach Top. He's up for new artist up there. I'm not sure who I was in the category, but I'm gonna tell you this: he's good, man. He's really good.
I think
He's good.
He's one of the hosts.
Yeah, him and Luke Bryan. Yeah, they
Laney Wilson.
Yeah, well, that's who Zach is. He's finishing up a tour with her right now, but he's going to be opening for Alan Jackson some next year. But he's already got his own tour. It's called Cold Beer and Country Music, but it's already sold out up until March. They had to add dates in Chattanooga and Nashville, and they sold out. And this kid he's really good. And I'm telling you, his heroes are George Merle and Keith Whitley and those guys. He's a young kid, man. He's good. Really good. You got to get the
hope for the next generation.
I'm gonna tell you, yeah, there's several of those that are with the traditional.
Oh yeah,
real country that are still in there.
Coming circles back around, always does.
Yeah, he's been opening for Laney. And Laney, she's good. I don't know much about her, but she's good.
Kind of got launched. I think she got her launch off of Yellowstone.
Is that what she on there?
You heard from Graylin lately? How's he doing?
I haven't heard. I've seen he's doing a lot, but I haven't heard from him. Have you, Dave?
It'd be nice, wouldn't it?
Yeah,
Jeff
hey, come in handy, man.
His daddy's birthday was yesterday, and I talked to Jeff yesterday.
Prince said it's coming in the nick of time.
I know y'all helped him a lot getting him down there, and he's a very talented songwriter, and he's doing his own stuff too. So he's very good, good kid. I like.
Oh, he's good. He was good when he was a little kid. He was
I'm
good.
Telling you.
He was professional.
Mm-hmm.
He started. I never saw nobody that young start professional like he did.
Yeah, I was looking at some of my bills, the sheets. You all are on there, Russ and Becky and Graylin from Smith Family Theater, and I was looking at that, man. You just never know.
You give me some of the movies of it now.
Oh yeah, we've got the DVDs of them, but he had that little hat that was bigger than him. He'd get out there and
hat and a guitar bigger than him, but
he didn't even have a guitar when we first started with him. He just come out there in that little hat, and then he got that guitar and really didn't play it until Chris Bean got him.
Yeah.
Yeah, Chris really was good, wasn't he?
Yeah, he helped him a lot. But yeah, they.
You know, Chris was such a musician, and I guess Ron saw him. You take him out and I'd do a Willie Nelson.
Oh, yeah.
I'd say, play it with your teeth. He just throw a guitar up and pick it with it. Oh, I said, if he can do it, I know I can do it. So I grabbed that banjo up and I got up there and hit my nose. I said, I'll just let Chris do it. It's his cup of tea. I hit it about 3 or 4 times, man. I don't know how I had you took my teeth out, okay, yeah, because I could note it.
Yeah.
I could pick with a stick or upside down with my hand. I could do anything. I said, why no one do that? I hit that. I started blowing it, flipped off and hit me right there. After about 3 flips, I just.
That's enough.
I do that. I can't even play with my fingers. You all talk about playing with your teeth.
I don't know. He said that he saw a rock guy do that years ago.
Oh, they do. Yeah, I've seen
a lot of people do it.
Boy, I mean, he'd walk out. Boy, wasn't Chris so nice? He walk out that slow, walk up. Thank you very much, David. I mean, he's so professional. I want to do one. We got a request for Blue Eyes, Crying in the Rain. The angels fly too close to the ground. He'd get a lot of requests for that, but we could sing them. And he'd doon, that guitar. I'd tell him, I'd say, pick with your teeth. Boy, he'd start that and it'd tear the house up.
Mm-hmm. Did you watch the video I sent you?
Scotty.
Yeah, isn't that amazing?
Yeah.
He's so dropping that bow down there and then
dropping it to his feet.
Yeah. I sent Ron that when I sent you, Karen. Who was it he was with?
Dale Reeves.
Dale Reeves, that's right. Yeah, Dale Reeves.
Oh, man.
So good.
Whew, man, I traveled a lot with him. I stayed with him in Nashville. He was remarkable. He played every instrument good.
Yeah.
He played the banjo good. He played the guitar. He played everything.
Yeah.
He said, I can take a pedal steel and set it up in 5 minutes and play as good as anybody. He said, I don't know why they work on them all night.
Marky, our fiddle player, he's now doing some vocal stuff.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and playing keyboards too. He's a good
Boy, he's good, ain't he?
Yeah, he's got a good voice, and he's singing in English, and he's got that accent a little bit. It's good, but he's very talented.
I tell you,
is he back here, or is he
Miami?
Miami.
He's in Miami.
I think off of it. You see him over when he worked with us that night, jumped off a stage.
I was there.
That stage was high. It's 3 or 4 foot, wasn't it?
Yeah,
He jumped off one this high, a stage this high, and fiddled till he hit the ground, to the floor, kept fiddling, walked out through the audience and come back. He looked at it while he was fiddling. I can't understand why he don't have to concentrate on that. It's just like it, the Lord just pushing it through him. He said it was a gift from the Lord. He said, yeah.
He said that right here.
Yeah, he said that right here. And he come up there and he looked at that like that. Well, he couldn't have been thinking about his fiddling. And all of a sudden, he just jumped straight up in the air and hit the stage.
Yeah.
I mean, man, of course, he's tall and skinny, but that's a hard jump.
Yeah.
That's been a hard jump for me at 2-year-old.
It's amazing. He's amazing.
It's a sight to tell some of these people got, you know.
Well, like his brother, he said his brother's better than he was.
Yeah, he said his brother.
I've seen his brother
like
play.
to hear his brother.
They're both very good. Yeah. Marty's got a little bit more showmanship in him.
I just can't believe it. Wouldn't you like to see? I saw him and Scotty Stoneman together. There's no telling what happened.
Oh yeah, I mean
somebody had to die there because they both had to show out.
We've talked about him before, but Doug Kershaw was he was a showman. I don't know if he's a great fiddle player, but he was a great showman.
He was a great fiddle player too.
He played behind his back and stuff too. Kershaw.
Yeah.
Did.
Oh yeah.
And he was a character.
Mm-hmm.
He was wild as a turkey.
He was.
Showed a TV show on there one night, and you hear the fiddle and stuff, and him hollering, and they got cameras going in there for him. Now he was up in a tree.
Yeah, he was that big Cajun. He was wild as a buck on that. But he's good.
See, they started that.
He had his own TV show for a long time, didn't he?
Yeah.
I remember that when I was a kid. Mom and Dad watched it.
Yeah.
See, they had on him and his brother. What was his brother's name?
I have no idea.
I don't know. I didn't know he had a brother.
Doug Kershaw, and Rusty and Doug.
Oh, I didn't know that.
You didn't know that?
What did Rusty play?
A guitar and they sung, I think. But look them up one day. Rusty and Doug.
Rusty and Doug Kershaw.
I believe that's his name, and he got killed.
Oh.
But boy, they was good back then. They done a lot of bluegrass back then. I believe that was Rusty and Doug.
Was Sam any kin to them?
Sammy Kershaw?
Sammy Kershaw.
I don't think so.
Yeah, he's kin to him.
Well,
I talked to his bus driver.
Really?
Yeah, it's his cousin or nephew. Nephew, I believe.
Really?
Sammy Kershaw kin to him because Don Bell's cousin, you know, that drove the bus for everybody. He drove for Sammy for a long
Look at
time.
that old picture of him.
Yeah,
There's
there's a picture
Rusty
of
and
him.
Doug. Yeah.
What's that? They had some good bluegrass songs there.
Yeah, let's see.
Rusty and Doug.
I never knew that.
I didn't either. I knew Doug, and I remember watching his TV show.
You hang around the history long enough here, you
learn.
That's why we do this show. It's all about information.
It's all about teaching.
Politics, Jesus, and music.
Pretty much.
Well, what have you heard from our buddy up in Kentucky? Why he hadn't made us beyond me. It's because that kid is.
I don't know. You're talking about Jordan Foster.
Musician.
I just don't understand that. Do you?
No.
Says he died of a heart
You
attack.
got sick, didn't you? Real sick.
I know he got sick. He's
back now
picking.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I might get him come back on Wild Wings. We got one more this year, and then we may sign up for next year. Rick's wanting me to real bad, and I said, well.
I know you'd lost a lot of weight last time I seen him.
Yeah, he's skinny as a rail.
Rick said, David, it's the only time, and us musicians, our buddies, sometimes we get to see each other. Like, you know, where we can sit down and eat with them, and I guess that's good.
You want me to read to you about the brothers?
Yeah, read to
It's pretty interesting. They recorded on Hickory Records between 55 and 61. They had 5 chart songs, and then they performed on the Louisiana Hayride and Wheeling Jamboree, and they become members of the Grand Ole Opry in the 1950s, and the duo broke up in 1959 as the brothers entered the United States Army. How about that? But reunited between 61 and 63, and then Doug continued as a solo artist. Rusty played on Neil Young's album On the Beach in 1974. How about that? He played slide guitar on motion pictures and fiddle on Ambulance Blues. Rusty Kershaw died of a heart attack on October of 2001 at the age of 63.
Well,
so I didn't know that he had a brother. Man, you're such a plethora of knowledge.
I hadn't think about their names. I forget.
Yeah.
I forget a lot of names now.
You said something earlier. Earl Thomas Conley made somebody in Nashville.
Yeah, that's
I've never heard
not
that
for
story.
air, not for air, but yeah, Russ.
I mean, because ETC had a pretty big career.
Unbelievable and great voice, and in the '80s he was one of my favorites. But rumor has it, we'll say that. Rumor has it he was probably not doing. He was fooling around with maybe one of the
somebody's wife.
Yeah, Nashville, okay. and so he was not going to make it big time. I guess that's what it said. Well, that's what I heard. I don't know. But
he had done packed up, was going home, leaving, quitting the business. And he had a song and he showed to L.E.
Earl Thomas Conley?
And Conway, L.E. got Conway to do it. So then he started recording his own stuff. But that's why. How come him to stay in Nashville? When Conway made that song, made the hit, then that gave him enough money to. Yeah. But like I say, a lot of them comes in here driving a Cadillac, and he's on a Silver Eagle. Greyhound bus.
He bought. Yeah, I mean, he was running around there.
My favorite probably is Holding Her and Loving You. It's an unbelievable song.
Somewhere Between Right and Wrong's a good one.
Great ones. I've got the LPs, albums in my collection of 3 or 4 or 5 of his albums back in the 80s. I mean, every time I loved his music, but there was some reason that radio, I don't know what would have been an executive somewhere.
I remember in the 80s, I played the fool out of him. I just remember back in...
Look up Claude King and see what he had besides
Wolverton Mountain.
See if he had several.
Claude had a bunch,
Yeah, he had a lot of hits, but some of them I forgot. He had some that everybody will know about when you find him. He was big back in his day.
See if you recognize any of these here. Let's see here. Of course, Wolverton Mountain's one.
Yeah.
And...
they say that was a true story. Now, wasn't it Merle Kilgore wrote it?
Merle Kilgore wrote it.
Wrote it about a guy whose daughter he wanted to date.
Well, they've got a bunch of them here that he sang in was, Lord have mercy. That can't be right.
He was big, wasn't he? He did a lot.
He had 29 hits. He left. He was with through 1972, and then he left the label in '73. In '77, he recorded some sessions with Howard Knight Jr. Wolverton Mountain is the main one, but let's see here, the top 11. Big River, Big Man, the Comancheros, Tiger Woman, The Burning of Atlanta, Building a Bridge, I've Got the World by the Tail, Sheepskin Valley, Hey Lucille, All the Love of a Girl, Catch a Little Raindrop. None of those rings a bell to me.
No, none of them rings a bell to me.
But Wolverton Mountain, obviously.
Yeah, it's big.
Big one.
Who wrote it?
Merle Kilgore wrote it.
Merle wrote it. And tried to.
Merle Kilgore.
Yeah, that's the one he tried to pitch to George.
Yeah, Kilgore. I got.
Of course, George probably done his I Hate Mountain song.
That'd been good of it. I Hate a Drinking song.
Yeah. Well, he didn't want to do. He stopped loving her today.
I know.
He said, well, I don't do that. So that's the most morbid song I ever heard.
Mel Kilgore was the one that took care of Hank Jr.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I think
that and Fire and Young.
His mama told Kilgore, said, I want you to just take off and take care of him, said he needs some help. That's right, because I was with him on a show, me and Luke was, and he was wanting to pick a banjo, and me and Luke was sitting there picking a little bit, and I picked, and he said, no, he can pick the banjo. I'm not going to pick it.
Sammy Kershaw, he's third cousins to Rusty and Doug.
Love it.
So that's crazy. I did not know that. Never put that together. But Sammy I think he's from Louisiana, though, isn't he?
I believe so.
Yeah.
I believe so.
Said he's third cousin. I hate to say this, but I got to go. I got to get to Crown College.
I'll sum up. You can go ahead if you need to, Barney.
I'll see you.
Everybody tell Barney hi on television land and radio land. Hey, Barney, tell him if they need some insurance, give you a call.
Yeah, call me at Madison Insurance Group. I'd love to help you. I'm so busy right now with the Medicare annual enrollment period, but we'd love to help you. And thankful Ron, he's been running those commercials like crazy. I was in the office at Clinton there with Ann and Bill and those at our Clinton office and earlier this morning, and I heard February theme music in the background. I thought my phone was ringing. It was WYSH playing their commercial. But yeah, thank you for that, David. But yeah, if
Okay.
we can help them anyway, let them know. But love you guys and appreciate seeing you.
Thank you for coming to
It's my
help
favorite
us.
time of my week.
Yeah.
Thank you for helping me. I mean, thank you for letting me help you out.
Say you, Barn.
Barney, something else. We like to tell everybody about Ciderville, boy. They've got it changing. You've got to come over, Ron. Have you been over?
I have not.
You got to see that drums. I reckon they got every good brand made.
Really?
Pearl, Tama, just to name them.
Wow.
Or some more Slingland, all them. Oh, they got some them colors back in the 50s colors.
Oh, wow.
It's something else to look at. And they got Fender coming in, Glory. They got loads of it over. If you need some Fender guitars, they got them.
We'll send them there.
They're getting all kinds of stuff in. And that's Anthony Lay and of course, Doug Green. They're running it together. And I mean, the new thing they told me this week, they got lessons going, all kinds of lessons.
Oh, good.
Mandolin, banjo, and drum, and piano, and I don't know what all. They got a lot of teachers coming in, so
Good.
they're going to be giving a lot of lessons and go over and see them. But I was over at Gretsch. I got Gretsch and Charvel and Jackson, and I was over yesterday a little while. I go down and get my mail, and there's a crowd of people in there, and they sold a high dollar Gretsch while I was in there. They were selling stuff right and left.
Well, good. They're right here at Christmas time. They're right. Good time to get started.
Yeah, they really done. They're going to have when they get all of it in, probably another few weeks, they're going to have a grand opening, I think. But Christmas is coming on. They got layaway. Be sure and go over and see them. I've done that for 60 years, I believe, something like that. The music part from 69 till I quit.
Yep.
I mean, I went to a complete music store and got out of the other business. I had instruments before that, but in 66.
Yes.
But it used to be chenille bedspreads on the clothesline down there and stuff, and it just kept getting bigger. And I run out of bedspreads, and I said, we're going to have to do something about this.
Started with banjos.
Yeah, Doug always has a good show on Saturday night, too, out there.
Oh, yeah.
I mean,
He just does it every so often. But he had a crowd last week, I believe.
Good.
He had a bunch sellout. He sold it out from full.
Good.
Put up extra
Was he
seats.
still doing karaoke on Friday nights?
Karaoke on Friday night, yep. And they have church on Sunday morning, so if you want to, whatever your denomination is, or however you dance, or come over and see them, then come
Play
over
hard
next
on
morning.
Saturday and pray hard on Sunday.
That's right.
There you go.
This girl's over there one night when I was running it on Saturday. She said, is it okay for me to dance here and go to church over here on Sunday morning? I said, well, sure. To tell you the truth, you probably need to. What time you coming over? I might just go with you. No, anyhow, there's some good people running church over on Sunday morning, and they've had that rented for, I guess, 15 years.
Probably,
a long
yeah,
time.
at least.
But anyhow, I want you to come to Ciderville and see what all they got. And we had a big show Monday night. Boy, it was good.
Great.
We got a guy called Chris.
You're going to get him over here. Yeah.
Maybe in a week or two, I'm going to get him to come over here to TV and radio. Chris, you're going to like him. But he can belt them songs out, can't he?
He can.
He's a little bitty fella,
Little
but he
entertainer.
can sure do them.
Good.
He loves having fun.
And he's a professional. First time I ever saw him was Monday night, and they said, let Chris sing. And he got up there, and I ain't heard him. I didn't know whether he could sing or not. But he laid it on the line. I said, I won't put you on, Drake, again. I put him on 3 times.
Yeah.
I mean, he's out of sight. He could done half the show, basically, if they loved him so
Oh,
good.
yeah.
He really could. See, it's just like, I tell him, show business is like it's like a big mega bar. You get chicken, and Drake, you get pulled chicken, you want some mashed potatoes and green beans. And see, if you want to really have somebody good, to keep them hot, don't let them do very much.
No, give it a little taste.
They can't wait.
Keep them hungry.
Rick told me one night, said, this guy was singing, boy, he was good. He said, won't you let him do a whole bunch of them? I said, well, burn him up. I said, I just let him do 3 on Saturday night. I said, because if he done more than that, they wouldn't be so anxious to come back. I said, if you get full at the bar, you're not going to go back. You get more because you're full.
Yep.
See, my daddy said, you're going to lose weight, leave the table a little bit hungry. If you only have a crowd, leave them wanting just a little bit to hear some more. Quit right when they want more. Just do a verse and chorus and get on out. I mean, there's so much to know about business. It's what you can do and what you can't do and how to make it work.
Yeah.
And my daddy was a very smart businessman. Thank the good Lord I had him to show me. And then I had Mr. Walker, but I mean, that was college right there. We're going to do the whole show day for my nephew Steve and Alma, my sister. She's had some health issues. We want everybody out there to pray for her because she's going through some things right now, but she still getting up and getting around and going out some. And of course, we love them, and they really, we've always had a real close family. If one of us had it, we all had it. And, I mean, you know, it's just a great family. I couldn't have never asked for anything any better. I know some people's had it rough with their families, and it's been broke up, and we never did have any of that. And was raised right, whether we did it exactly right or not, even me or anybody else. But I don't thank the good Lord for that. We got I see a lot of people that Joe do. He's going to come over one day and sit with us, and we do the show for him. You know, we have so many people. I go in restaurants and, boy, I listen to that show. It's good. I was in the courthouse here a little bit back, and this guy come down, I think he was a lawyer or something. He said, y'all listen to him? Said, he's like going to college. You can hear all kinds. Said, he's got a lot of history.
That's true.
Well, what it is, I've been a lot of places, and I started young, and now I'm old, but we got a thing at Ciderville we call what we used to do's club. So we can sit there and tell him stories.
What we used to do.
Someday I'll tell him about this lady come in and was interviewing the other day. How did you get started in business? And we'll tell him a little bit of it. How I grew up in business and just kept getting this and that and hauling for people and doing stuff for people. Boy, I've had a great life. It's an interesting life. But anyhow, till we get to see you next week, I guess, what do you got to say about it? Heard anything?
Well, it surprised me these families falls apart over politics. Won't even go see their parents or whatever on Thanksgiving, Christmas and stuff because of politics. Everybody's got an opinion.
Yep, no sense in that.
And why fall that? I mean, but it's happening every day. It's
yeah, you know, as Bill Carlisle said, if you win an argument, what do you get out of it?
That's right. What do you want?
I mean, you have to take so much in this life, and when you're in business, you walk in. I remember I went over a concession stand. Used to, it was outside. We had more of a restaurant type thing there, and you go over and they had them game machine, Pac-Man, and all that, and you go over and eat. Mama would cook pinto beans, 1 week soup, and we go over and have a big time, you know, eating. And I went there and somebody said, I said, how you doing? Oh, I had to leave. I can't stand that show over. And I said, that's the reason I'm over here too. You know, like that, and laugh. And see, you said, what's so good? She started building it up. She know what to say to that lady. She know what to say about that. I don't blame you one bit. I'm over here too. I can't stand it like that. So you just fall in with them. And it's so much you got to take. Ron knows that in business, you have to take a lot.
Yeah.
They say give and take, but you have to take more.
You take a lot more than you give.
Of course, you got that good saying, you need to get along together today because tomorrow you may be together forever.
Yeah, I wrote
Be
that.
good to the Lord, he'll be good to you.
Exactly.
I've done it for.
All right.
This guy had a big old bus and it was a gospel group. And I wrote that and he get to him and said, learn to get along today, for tomorrow you may be together forever. And he said, I'm putting that on front of my bus on the bumper. Okay, till we get to see you next week, hopefully, if it's good Lord will. And I'm on a walking stick today. I hope I get where they say I'm going to get back normal. They said, did you walk before you come in here? I said, yeah, like a 16-year-old.
Well, you normal, David.
I said, like a 16-year-old, I was walking good. I said, am I going to walk again? I said, oh, yeah. Of course, I'm walking with
Hey, one step at a time.
That's
You're graduating from the walker to the cane.
Yeah, I started out in a wheelchair, and then I got up to walker. And
Next week, you'll be jogging in.
But I'll tell you one thing, I ain't chasing no rabbits right now.
Nope, just let the rabbits go.
Yeah. So we get to see you next week. May the good Lord bless you. And remember, Mr. Walker, be good to the Lord, he'll be good to you.
There you go.
Thank you for listening to AM 1380 WYSH and Ask Your Neighbor. Make sure you tune in at 10 a.m. each day, Monday through Friday, right here on AM 1380 WYSH and BBB TV 12. Or listen live online at WYSHradio.com. And remember, if you have a question, comment, or problem, call in tomorrow and ask your neighbor. Or email from our website. It's Ask Your Neighbor. Thanks for listening.
Don't be fooled by insurance companies telling you where you have to get your prescriptions filled. Anderson Crossing Pharmacy in Andersonville can fill your prescriptions, and they'll do it in about 10 minutes. And make sure you ask Anderson Crossing Pharmacy about their loyalty card. You can save 10% on over-the-counter items. Anderson Crossing Pharmacy is at 30